So today's topic is seller's objections, right? So these are listing appointment objections, and some of them can really be kind of like, you can kind of consider them, what's the word I'm going to go, maybe sometimes appointment setting objections could possibly be those. But for the most part, these are the listing appointment objections. Now, I listed the objections. We're not going to go through every one of them, but I'll share the link where you get the objection handling. Some of the ones, the way they handle them, I'm not a big fan of them. And that's just kind of how it goes. So it's a 5-page document that's on the Mike Ferry website. You can download it from there. And I'll kind of show it to you. I'll show you where to find them. So let's get started with that. And then, I'll kind of pick out a few, and then we'll kind of handle them and how I like to handle them and things like that, rather than, like they have one, we'll talk about it. Like, I'll share the list with you, but I'll show you where to get it too. You can either pay for the whole book and download it, but if those that were at the listing presentation class last week, this document was in that packet you received. And so let's go ahead and get started. So we're being recorded. And then, so seller's objections, right? So number one, we only want to give you a 30, 90-day listing, right? So the manual says, the book says, so here, I'll throw the book out. Let me just the book up on the screen, kind of do that. And then kind of show you what they're suggesting. I'm sorry, I won't do that. 6 months is our company policy, right? So, and people, they really don't care about company policy, right? So what do people care about? They care about themselves. So the way I like to handle that objection is, look, so I understand you only want to list for 30 days, but here's the thing. The way I like to handle it. So here's the thing, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. The reality is, if, at the end of 30 or 60 days, if we're not getting the right activity or offers that are coming in, then the issue is really going to be the price. And at that point, we're going to have a conversation about the price. And if you're not willing to correct the price, then I will just give you the listing back. So it really doesn't matter. So don't worry about that. Just go ahead and sign the contract. That way I can get your home in the market and get it sold. Won't that be great? I mean, that's how I handle that. The idea of company, you could say, 5 months is our company policy or whatever you want. And if they don't object, and then so sometimes people just throw objections at you, right? Just to, so they're not lay down, right? They're like, you want me to handle the sale? And you go, yeah, sign the contract. Well, what are you thinking about this? They seem like they're, what's the word? They're not a cinch, to sign the contract. So sometimes they just want to throw objections at you. And remember, an objection is not, it is simply an unanswered question in the mind of a prospect. So when someone throws an objection at you, just simply answer it, tie it down, right? Tie it down, and you all know what a tie down is, right? You get them to agree that they're okay with that, right? So I'm sorry. So let's just go with the So what the manual said, right? So the manual says, I'm sorry, I won't do that. 6 months is our company policy. Therefore, what we need to do is now simply sign the contract so I can get what you want in the time you want. Well, that'd be great. And they go, yeah. So you say sign the contract. Well, if they sign it, then don't say anything else. Realtors tend to talk too much. They tend to talk themselves out of the sale, right? And if you want, we could just stay on this document and just walk, right? So we don't need to do the slides. We'll just stay on this document, right? And this is, like I said, I'll show you where to find it. You can find it free. They have a whole book you can buy. It's like $10 or something like that, $15. And it gives you everything. If not, you can download like individual pieces of it free. So the next objection, and if you can answer each one of these, at least 2 different ways, then you can outlast them. In other words, they're just going to throw these objections at you, and then if you can answer them, remember we can hear. So everybody, good. So we can hear you if you're having a separate conversation. Hello? We can hear your conversation. So if you're going to have a separate conversation, please mute yourself, or I'll just mute everybody. So anyway, so the second objection is, we were thinking about a company. We've never heard of your company, right? So, and then they just go right into it. I can understand your concern. I think you realize a company doesn't sell a home. It's individuals, agents, activities. And I love this. Do you feel I can sell your home? They go, yeah, terrific, great. Bang. So all they did was make a statement, and then the tie down is, do you feel I can sell your home? Right? I mean, so, and that's it. So you're on the you're sitting there in front of them, because in other words, you wouldn't have been there if they didn't have confidence in you. So unless you really, really, really did a terrible job and have them lose all confidence in you, they're just throwing out objections. So remember, an objection is simply an unanswered question. Just answer the question, tie it down. So this is a perfect example of a tie down, right? I can understand your concern, and I do realize a company doesn't sell a home. It's the individual agent's activities, right? So that's like statement, right? And then the tie down is, do you feel I can sell your home? Because you should always answer their questions. I call it a technique called comma new question. When you answer somebody's question, you never answer the question with a period at the end of your sentence. You end it with a comma at the end of your sentence, and you ask the next question. And then they go right back into the close, right? So great. All we need to do now is simply sign the contract. So I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Won't that be great? And they go, yeah, sign the contract. And so the key is to remember, when you know what it is they want, so I can, instead of saying, so I can help you get what you want, time you want, if you know what it is they want and you know the time they want it, then use that information. So all we need to do now is simply sign the contract. So I can get you that new house in South Jordan before school starts. Won't that be great? I'm like, yeah, so go ahead and sign the contract. And I always say, it's okay, as I'm pushing the contract for them in front of them, right? So for those of you who were at the listing presentation class, so remember I said I like to have papers all over the table, right? I like them to be holding papers in their hand. I like them to be writing things down. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm prepping them. I'm preparing them to sign the contract. So now they got papers in their hand. That signing the contract feels a little less, salesy, right? But the thing is, if they're motivated, they're not offended by this. So if you think, all we got to do is sign the contract, say that. If you think saying sign the contract is a little too pushy, then you're missing the point. And if it is too pushy for them, the probabilities of them not being highly motivated are good. So highly motivated people need a salesperson. They have to sell their house. So they're not offended with sales. You get that? That's powerful. That's just a very, very important thing to do, right? So, and I love that. Do you feel I can sell your home? So let's look at the next one, right? We'll save the commission by selling it ourselves. So, and then this goes into a lengthy one. Now this one here, remember the pre-qualification, when you're pre-qualifying the listing appointment, we already asked them, hey, have you considered selling a home yourself? Right? So you should already know if they're thinking about selling the home themselves, right? Because you would have asked that on the pre-qualifying the listing appointment script. So if you get this one as an ambush, they're either A, they don't want to use you, so they're just throwing everything at you. And I'm here to tell you, if they keep throwing objections at you, the real issue, in my opinion, is going to be the price. It's not these objections are tossing at you. 9 times out of 100, it's the price. So, they don't like your price, so they're going to keep coming up with objections. And when they don't like your price, it's when, and then we talked about it at the listing appointment, it's because you came in and told them a price rather than allowing them to discover the price. That's the danger of bringing a CMA on the appointment. because if they have 300 in mind and the CMA says 275 and you bring a CMA, now you are wrong and you're going to be fighting them the whole way and, potentially not get the listing because they're already down 20. But if you lead them to the price and do the CMA with them, instead of bringing the CMA, do the CMA, they'll discover the price. This one here is a little lengthy. So, and so, so I'm not a little, so, because you got to go in through this one. So, are you aware that today there's over blank homes for sale? Last month, only blank actually sold. Well, in this market, some of this doesn't apply. I mean, if you got an investor that's got a 250 property, they know how to sell it. They don't need an agent. They just list, or whatever. They can tell it with somebody that'll do it for 2% or 1% or even $550 to throw it in the MLS, right? There's people out there. Yeah. So, this one here, a motivated seller, this one should probably not come up in my opinion. So, and then the 2%, this for sale by owners are selling right now. Now, there are statistics that say that for sale by owners net less money, and it's not because, and it's mainly because, not because of them or anything like that, it's because of who actually shops for sale by owners, right? So typically the for sale by owners are being hit up by the investors and things like that. So that's the reason why. So I love the question when somebody says they're going to sell it themselves, right? I love throwing this question at them. Hey, let me ask you a quick question. And I always say, hey, look, I can appreciate you want to sell it yourself and save money. Let me ask you a quick question. Does your homeowner's insurance cover the contract in case there's a mistake? And they'll be like, huh, what a powerful question to ask them, because it takes them off of the money, right? So, it's hard to win a conversation where they pay more and then them paying more is better. It's just a tough math problem to convince. So I don't like to have that conversation. So I just ask them, if you make one error, it could cost you many, many thousands of dollars, So let's just do this. We have insurance that'll cover us up to $1 million. So let's just do the right thing and simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Well, that'd be great. They're like, yeah, okay, sign the contract. So that's how I like to do it. I don't like to have the math conversation. The math conversation is just tough to convince. So, and then if you get tied up with all these stats, you really got to be you got to know these stats like the back of your hand if you're going to go down this objection handler. So, all right, let's get to the next one. Let's list high. We can always come down later, right? I understand you want to list high to leave room for negotiation. And have you considered a problem that creates for you? What a powerful question that is. They're like, wait, okay, we're creating a problem? It says, yeah, most people won't even bother looking at properties that are priced too high. Would you rather have a bidding war in your home or not have an opportunity to negotiate any offers at all? Love that one, right? Powerful. So it's better, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, look, it's actually better to have the correct price than it is to sit on the market. So you do this, and if it doesn't work, right, then we go into the next objection handler, right? So we go into the next. So if you answer this one, then I like to go into the one. Let's see, I got distracted. A thing popped up on my phone, right? So then you go into the next one. So look, Mr. Seller, here's what happens when a property is overpriced, right? So if it doesn't sell, say, in the first 30 or 45 days, then we adjust the price. Then what we're saying to the market is, hey, there's something wrong. Our house didn't sell. And then the buyers are going to say, well, I wonder what's wrong with the house. So let's say the price is $375 or $275, and you went to the $300, and then we languish on the market 30 or 45 days. Then we finally correct the price to $275, and then but the buyers are going to say, hey, that's been on the market 45 days. I wonder what's wrong with it. So they're not going to offer you $275. They're going to start offering you $250, $260. Is that what you want? And they'll be like, no. So let's just go ahead and list it at $75. Then that way we'll actually get offers at 275 because it'll be fresh on the market, and the buyers agents are going to realize that this is a listing that's properly priced, and we're going to go ahead and actually net you more money than if you were to go ahead and try and list it high and then come down later. Does that make sense? And they go, yeah. So great. All we need to do now is simply sign the contract. So that way I can help you get what you want and the time you want. Won't that be great? And they're like, yeah. And they say, yes, great, sign the contract, right? This one here, so we want to think it over, and that's great since 3 minds, and if there's only one of them, all right, and then it's only 2 minds. 2 minds are better than one, So let's think out together. Tell me, what are you thinking about? And then they do the, we want to sleep on it, right? So when they want to think it over, again, you've heard me say it over and over and over. If they want to think it over 99 times out of 100, it's the price, right? It's the price. And that's where I go into my 3 decision close. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, really, there's 3 decisions you need to make, right? Number 1 is the decision to sell your home. And you guys have already made that decision, haven't you? And they say, yes, okay. And then the second decision we need to make, it's the price we set on your home, okay? So let me ask you a question. So all that information we went over, so do you have any questions? So are you clear on the price? We talked about, we looked at all that information, and everything pointed to 275. So are you clear that 275 is the right number? And then if they say, yeah, if they kind of stall, then that's proof that they're him hauling about the price. Then if they say, then I go back, I always go after price twice in the 3 decision, right? So the second decision is, it's the price we choose on the home. Do you have any questions about the price? And they go, well, and then not really. And then they go, okay. So in other words, you are 100% absolutely clear on the price that we chose. And then if they say, well, if they say well or anything other than absolutely clear, then price is the issue you're dealing with. It. They don't want to think it over. What they're struggling with is the price, because they had a number in mind, and then you came in and now the price is different. So that's the struggle. So and then some people, they just do the whole thing. Well, we want to pray about it, right? So, my answer to that is, do you want to open or do you want me to open? Right? I'm not afraid to say that either, So my real estate prayer has always been, Lord, if it was meant to be, let me know. If it wasn't meant to be, let me know quickly, right? Let's not prolong this agony, right? So then, we want to sleep on it. You're right. This is a big decision. So this one here, if they tell you they want to sleep on it, you can do this. Let's do this. Sign the contract tonight, contingent upon your approval within 24 hours. That way we both win. Can I tell you how? Yeah, you have 24 hours with no pressure, so you feel comfortable and sleep on it tonight. And I'll call you in the morning, and you simply tell me yes. You simply tell me yes or no. And if you say no, I'll rip up the contract, and you have no obligation. If you say yes, I'll begin marketing your property immediately, either way. Now, this is just a Hail Mary pass right here. This is like you've tried everything, and they're still giving, we want to sleep on. This is just a Hail Mary pass, right? So if you can get them to sign it, then, who knows? Like I said, it's a Hail Mary. You just throw it up and see what happens, right? So, and you can see everything start, all we need to do now is sign the contract, right? I have a friend in the business. That's the next objection they have, right? I can appreciate that, and almost everyone does. So let me ask you a question. Do you absolutely have to sell this home, or are you just looking to do your friend a favor, right? That's like, ooh, that's like, that one's like, ouch, that one hurt, right? Obviously, now remember, we're on the listing appointment. And so this should not be a surprise either. In other words, you should not be getting ambushed with these objections, because if you pre-qualified the appointment well at a high level, you would have already known this, right? So, and one of the questions on the pre-qualifying was, do you plan to interview more than one agent for the job of selling your home? And if they say, yeah, okay, and if you're the first one there, and if they have another appointment, that sometimes they set another appointment, since you talked to them, and then I go into my favorite, I always say, it's my favorite script, my least favorite script, just depending on which end of the phone conversation I'm on, right? So, and you say, okay, or let's say they have another appointment, right? And you just say, okay, well, as your agent, which is, so using the language as your agent, that's considered assumptive language, right? So we're saying, as your agent, one of the services I provide for you is I'll go ahead and handle that appointment for you. Do you want to know what I'm going to say? And they go, well, yeah, of course. Or can I tell you what I'm going to tell the other agent? They say, yeah. So you just, hey, look, hey, Rob, this is, Rob Aubrey. I'm over here with the Joneses. They decided to go ahead and list a home with me, and we just want to let you know that the home is listed, and we have a lockbox on the front door, and we wanted to give you first shot so that if you have any buyers that you can bring them by and show them the home. Okay, that's how I'm going to handle it. Do you want me to do that? And they go, okay, great. So that's a second way of handling the first one, right? So if they say, yeah, this, okay, that works, then great. All we need to do is simply sign the contract. That way I can help you get what you want and the time you want. Won't that be great? And they say, yeah, and say, okay, sign the contract. So when then the next one, so another agent said they can give me more money, right? So another agent, and I can appreciate that. And what you probably understand this is an agent that will list your property overpriced assumes that they can take the listing now and then start beating you up on the price week after week after week, and you smack your hand when you say, so they can start beating you up on the price, week after week after week. Is that what you want? And they're like, well, no. And you have to use the proper tonality to where you say, is that what you want? Like, why would anybody in their right mind want that? It's the tonality to say, and then no, and then you're like, well, who would? So here's the thing: they're afraid to tell you the truth up front. Mr. Seller, do you want the truth? Of course you do. Let's do the right thing and simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want and the time you want. That'd be great. Go ahead and sign the contract. And then you can also use that one, the overpriced script, so that where you say if we're on the market for 30, 45 days, that we're actually going to lose money by doing that. So you can actually insert that in here as well. Does that make sense? So let's go to the next one, right? So the next one is, you haven't sold any homes in my area. And that's a valid concern. The obvious reason you'll choose me now is that my company has homes for sale all over the community. Meaning, when you sign the contract tonight, we can expose your property to potential buyers from all over the area. Do you realize how important exposure is? And they go, well, yeah. Now, isn't that what you want? That's the tie down. Of course it is. Therefore, all we need to do now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want and the time you want. Well, that'd be great. They're like, yeah, sign the contract. So remember, in our company, we have agents from Provo to Ogden. So, it doesn't matter. This one here, you don't get much. It depends on the appointment. So, if you're obviously, you're a St. George agent, if you're, living in Salt Lake, listening to St. George property, that could come up. So anyway, so you can, you see how the patterns work, right? So they throw an objection at you. So the first thing is you got to repeat what they say, repeat and affirm, right? So, and I might not repeat this one. You haven't sold any homes in my area, right? So I don't want to repeat that one. So and you say, hey, well, that's a valid concern, and I can, the obvious reason you'll choose me now. That's an embedded command, right? Remember, the embedded commands are, ... And so they're the standalone statement, choose me now, sign the contract tonight. Those are all embedded commands, sign the contract. So you're supposed to pause before and after. So that way they just hear that. So pardon for the hack. So the next one, right? What do you do to sell homes? That's a valid concern. And so let me ask you, are you aware there are two kinds of real estate agents? They're passive and active. I'm an active agent, meaning when you sign that contract tonight, I'll spend my time actively marketing your home to the public and to the other active agents in town. Isn't that what you want? And if they say, yeah, what if they come back at this one, right? So, our agents, so we have, it goes to realtor.com. It obviously UtahRealestate.com. It's on homes.com. and the individual agent has the choice in our system to publish it on Zillow if they want. So you could just say, look, I mean, if you hand it and then it comes back, you just say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I mean, I appreciate you bringing that up. So first, just got to know that we're going to publish your listing on all the major websites on the planet, right? So we're going to do it on the largest websites on the planet. I love using the word on the planet. I mean, so isn't that awesome? And then the next one is, plus we're going to go ahead and publish it on all the top websites here in the state of Utah. Not to mention, it's going to be on thousands of other agents and broker websites. and then I just go, I mean, that's the kind of marketing and exposure you want, right? That's your tie down. And they go, yeah, great. Well, let's just go ahead and sign the contract so that way I can help you get what you want and the time you want. Well, that'd be great. They're like, yeah, go ahead. So just go ahead and sign it. So let's go to the next one. So the next one is about, I mean, this is my favorite. If you can't learn this script, you're helpless, right? You're beyond hope. We want you to cut your commission. Oh no, do you have any other questions? So an exercise I want you to do is the next time you're at the grocery store, say you're at, Target or whatever, and you're checking out, and they ring it up and they tell you the price. They say, it's, $87.65 or whatever. I just want you to look at them. I want you to look them dead in the eye and go, well, we want you to lower your price. And then I want you to study the look on their face. When they sit there and they look at you like a puppy that's confused, right? Like their head turns and goes, huh? I want you to master that look. I want you to learn that look, and I want you to master it. So the next time somebody says, we want you to cut your commission, you go, and you kind of have that, huh? Oh, no. I mean, do you have any other questions? Because some people will drop right there, right? So if they drop right there, then just go into all we need to do now is simply sign the contract. If they say, no, that we don't have any other questions, then great. All we have to do is sign the contract. That way I can get your home sold. Wouldn't that be great? So, yeah. Then if they say, the other agent said they would, right here she would, I can appreciate that. Can I tell you what makes me nervous? And they're like, well, why would, and it's like, well, that changed. So when you say that to them, see, they have kind of their own quasi script in their mind. And you say, well, can I tell you why that makes me nervous? And they're like, huh, that wasn't part of my script, so you just screwed them up. And then they're like, okay, yeah. So if the other agent doesn't have the courage to stand up to you, and you're like pointing to them like, you regarding their own worth, how strong could they possibly be defending you and the price you set on your home? Blank, I have that courage. You feel I can sell your house? Yes. Terrific. All we need to do now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want at the time you want. And won't that be great? They go, yeah. Sign the contract. I mean, if they keep coming after it, then, do what you got to do. Because some people are all about price. There's value shoppers and price shoppers. Right? So there's value shoppers and there's price shoppers. And price shoppers, there's nothing you can do about it. That's just who they are, and it doesn't matter. Because they think, the problem is price shoppers think that all agents are the same. And the reality is a good agent with good product and good service can actually net us for more money. You realize that high quality images and properly staged homes actually net sellers more money, but not so much that you can actually start listing a price higher. It's just that you won't languish on the market and you won't have to take a beating on the price if it's priced properly. So you just ask the other, let me ask you a question. You can just ask the seller, are you aware that professional photography and staging actually can net you more money? Like, well, no. Well, exactly. That's exactly why we need to go ahead and sign the contract so I can actually net you more money. Won't that be great? Right? You see, I'm able to just pull things out of the air and apply it, but it's using the same language pattern that they're using. So instead of, so that way I can get more money rather than I can get you to the house and, so that way I can get you what you want and the time you want. So, because what they want is more money is what they're trying to sell you with this objection, right? So that way, let's just go ahead and sign the contract. So that way I can net you more money. Won't that be great? Yeah, okay, sign the contract. so that's pretty much it. That's the 12. So these are, it used to be 10, but they kind of taken two of them, like 11. 12 used to be part of 10. We want to think about it, sleep on it. That used to be one big long objection. So they broke it up into 12, but there's really 10 objections, right, to price. Any thoughts or questions or on all this? I mean, I know I just did a 32-minute paragraph, rambling on. But what are your thoughts, questions on any of these? Anybody? So let's see. Let me look, see if, oh, I didn't have my screen open. Sure got bumped out. Sorry about that. So we have a handful still left on there. So what do you guys think? Any thoughts, concerns, questions, hallucinations? So don't forget the Mike Ferry Productivity School is coming up March 26th through March 29th. If you haven't signed up for it and sent me your money, I strongly encourage you to go. If you were my employee, you would be going. There wouldn't be no doubt about it. You would be going to the appointment. So we're saving $100. We already have more than 10 committed, but I only have 3 people's money. So it's $295 versus $395. If you want to go, make sure you're sending me your money, or you can pay me through PayPal. That costs a couple dollars more. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to end the call, the meeting, or whatever you want to call it. So you can always email me. Oh, I forgot to show you on the website. So let's do this. So Mike Ferry, you go MikeFerry.com, right? MikeFerry.com. Then it's under products. So if you go under products, let's see. So they just you keep scrolling down, and you'll see. I think it's on the, I don't know which page it is. You just have to kind of scroll through their stuff. So they have all kinds of stuff here that you can buy, that you can listen to and purchase. But I have the book. So if you need it, so here's the script book. It's $15. You get your own version. But then after that, they start to get up in chunks. So you'll start to see it. Recruiting script books. Let's see. So I don't know. Maybe listing presentation. That one there. Let's see. Trigger cards. So maybe it's not on this. Maybe it's on the resource page. So I know I downloaded it for Mike Ferry Reports. Yeah. So scripts. So C scripts. Here we go. So it's under resources. C scripts, right? So they got objection handlers. There's 40 advocacy owner scripts. So these are all. So pretty much kind of the script book, but you have to download each individual one. I mean, if you're willing to spend the time, you save yourself $15. So showing property, I got all kinds of stuff that really might not be in the script book. So so they have it in English and Spanish too. So sometimes in French. I don't know that we need a big call for French in this market. But Mike Ferry goes he goes to Europe and teaches his classes. So anyway, so that's where you get that. So you go to MikeFerry.com, resources, and then scripts, and then you should be able to download whatever you want. So March 26th, 29th, the Productivity School, highly recommend it. I believe, in my opinion, is something that will actually change your career. So you guys have an awesome day. See ya.
Thanks, Rob.